We can consider him like any other person from the 7th century, but he's meant to be the highest character ever.
He is. All the things the Prophet did that we find problematic these days, we have to consider the context of the time.
Your first sentence isn't aligning with your second. Here's the issue, Brian. You can't pick and choose when to apply context in Islam. Muhammad's actions are viewed as perfect and timeless.
I do not know how any person who is a mukallaf can make such a ridiculous argument. Actions are based upon context. What they aren't based upon is that they would change with time even if the context remains the same. A context of the action is the reason for the existence of the action itself. If I do action X, I do it in response to something else, of course. For example, if I eat, I do eat because it is a response to my hunger, which is another reason why. Now, any action X which is done in response to something else, which is Y. For example, we execute the murderers in Islam. That is the Shari ruling for a murderer. But we do not execute everyone. Here, the action X is executing, and the context of the action is Y. So we do not execute every single person there is. Why? Because the reason Y does not exist for us to execute or to perform action X. So we have established that even if the actions are perfect and timeless, they are still dependent upon context. What it means to be perfect and timeless is that if the reason Y exists, then the action X must be taken, and that the action X is the perfect action no matter what time in response to the reason Y, not in response to another reason such as Z.
In Islam, you're supposed to follow his example no matter the time or place. The Quran and Hadith are unchangeable and divinely perfect. If you say we should interpret his actions through a modern lens, you're not following Islam anymore. And that directly contradicts the very foundation of the faith. So when you say donating is good because Muhammad did it, but child marriage isn't, then you're not following Muhammad, you're following modern norms, what Islamists hate the most.
Just like I said regarding the X action and Y reason, we can provide reasons for the marriage as well, which do not exist today. Therefore, the reason why does not exist today for these types of marriages, and therefore the action doesn't exist either. In fact, most of the Muslims would say that, or any human being would say that there are more reasons for that to not happen anymore than for it to happen.